This is Rif Beitza Daf Lamed Beis. The Mishnah says, "Ein pochasin haner meishos kli." You can't hollow out a lamp. That means you're pressing to the clay to make a hole for the lamp. You can't do that because he's making a vessel. The ein osim chamim, and you can't make charcoal. The ein chodchin safsil l'shnayim, and you can't cut the wick into two. By the way, our verse of the Mishnah lacks l'shnayim into two. But it means the same thing. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Chotcha Ba'ur L'Shtei Neiros. Rabbi Yehuda says you can cut it with a flame into two lamps. And again, our Mishnah actually lacks the word L'Shtei Neiros, into two lamps. But the Rif Beitza Mishnah does have it. That was Lamed Beis Amid Aleph. And now moving into the Gemara, Lamed Beis Amid Beis. Ma'ishna B'Sakin Zewah. Why is it that with a knife it's different that you can't cut, but you can do it with a flame? Because he's fixing a vessel, he's completing a vessel. But if you do it with flame, you're also kamasakin mana. You're also fixing or completing a vessel. So it's Rabbi Chia chotcha ba'or b'fi shtei neiros. Rabbi Chia taught a Beitza that he may cut it with the flame where its ends are in two lamps. So you have a wick which is going between two lamps, and then you take the flame and you cut it by burning it, and that's how you do it. And actually is somewhat parallel to the language of the Rif Mishnah. So Amar Nafsin Bar Abba Amar Rav Mochatin Asafsila B'Yom Tov. Rav Nafsin Bar Abba says we may be mochatin, which we're translating as trim. So you can trim a wick on Yom Tov. My mochatin. What does it mean mochatin? From what may we trim it? So Amar of Chimna Bar Shalom Yemish Meidi Rav La'adu Yechashocha. He says it's to remove the darkness. That's the charcoal residue on top that darkens the light. So you're trimming off that little charcoal residue. Tane Bar Kapara. Bar Kapara taught a Beitza. Vazvarim in Emru B'Sila. 6 things were said regarding a wick. Shlosh L'Achmir, the Shlosh L'Hakel. 3 of them stringently, 3 of them leniently. Ein Godlun Osol L'Chatchila. You can't twist it initially, twist the wick initially, beyond those. The Ein Mahamzinos, nor can you singe it with flame. Singeing it makes it into a kind of a charcoal that it lights better. The Ein Mahamzinos Ba'ur, you can't singe it with a flame. The Ein Chotzon Osol Shnaim, and you can't cut it into 2. So those were the 3 that were stringent. Gimel L'Hakel, the 3 that are lenient. The Macha B'Yad, he may press it together with his hand. The Shirus of Shemen, and he can soak it in oil. The Chotcha Ba'ur B'Fi Shtei Neiros, and he can cut it using a flame into when it's connected in 2 lamps. And then they're in 2 lamps, such that it divides. Onto the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, "Ein shovrin es acheres." We may not break a shard of pottery. Ein chodchin es haniyar l'tzalz b'moliach. Nor will we even cut paper. This in order to roast salted fish in it. Ein garfin tanur b'kivayim aval l'chafshin. We may not shovel out an oven or a stove, but we may press down. We can press down the ashes to level the floor of the oven or the double stove. Ve'en makifin shtei chaviyot l'shvos aleim es hakadeva. We cannot position 2 barrels together in order to set a pot upon them. Ve'en somchan es hakadeva b'zkas v'chein badelas. And we can't support a pot with a piece of wood and also the door. I mean, we'll see what it means, also the door. Whether it means that you can't support the door or that you can't use the door for support. The Ein Manhigin has said the Haim of Makel B'Yom Tov. And we can't direct an animal with a staff on Yom Tov. So the Gemara says that Ein Gorfin Tanur B'Skivayim, you cannot shovel out an oven or a stove. That was a citation within the Mishnah. Nei Rabbi Chia, B'Red Rav Yosef, B'Med Rav Yochanan. Chia, the son of Rav Yosef, taught before Rabbi Yochanan. In the Yafshar Olafot, and if it's impossible for him to bake otherwise, Elin Kain Garfo, unless he shovels it out, Muzar in such a case is permitted. Divitu de Rabbi Chia, Nafalei Aricha B'Tanur B'Yom Tova. The wife of Yechia had one of these half bricks fall into the oven on Yom Tov, and that would kind of ruin or make it difficult to bake. So Amar La Rabbi Yechia. Rabbi Yechia said to her, Chazid ana riftem alya be'ina minach. See that I desire a good loaf from you. In other words, you're allowed to shovel it out in such a case. This seems to be a kiyum of the previous statement of Rabbi Yechia B'Rei Rabbi Yosef. Amar Le Rabbi L'Sham'eh. Rabbi said to his attendant, Tavi li bar avza v'zahar mecharacha. Roast a goose for me, and be careful not to singe it. And the way a goose would get singed is if the oven would have these ashes in it. So he's basically telling him, he's hinting to him that he should shovel out the oven for this. Amar Le Ravina Le Rav Ashi. Amar Lan Rav Acha Mehutzal. Rav Acha from Hutzal said, Demar, that master, namely Rav Ashi, Sharkali Tanur B'Yom Tova, had spread mud over his oven on Yom Tov, and this in order to assist it. And this possibly was the malacha involved should have been forbidden because of the labor involved in this. So Amar Le Anan Arakta de Parah Samchina. We, in other words, I relied on the banks of the Euphrates. Kolomar, the Rif explains, Einanu Govlin Tit B'Yom Tov. We're not kneading clay on Yom Tov. Ella, Araksa de Parah Samchina. We're relying on the banks of the Euphrates. V'hu Hatit V'Harefesh. And this is the clay and the mud. The Shefira Sanahar, which is surrounding the river. Amar Babahu, the Tzayrin Me'asmal. And this is where they marked off what they were going to use from yesterday. Amar Ravina, the Kitma Shari. Ravina said that and ashes is permitted. What does it mean and ashes is permitted? The Rif explains because ashes are not something that mix well, that knead well. It's permitted to mix it, to knead it on Yom Tov, but in order to spread upon the oven. I'll sleep with the bread or for roasting. Amar Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman said, Avanim shel Beis HaKisei. They used to support themselves while sitting in the privy among these stones. So these stones of the privy is mutter l'kaded on Yom Tov. It's permitted to align them in order to sit upon them on Yom Tov. The binyan keva asur Torah, because the Torah prohibited permanent construction. Uvidin arai lo asur Torah, and the Torah didn't prohibit temporary construction. The Gazer Rabbanon al binyan arai asur binyan keva. And the sages decreed and forbade temporary construction because one might come to do permanent construction. And here, because of his honor, because of the honor of a person, that he should be able to sit on the toilet, the sages didn't make their decree. Amar Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda said, Hai Medurta, a bonfire, Milamala Lamata Shari, from top down it is permitted. Milamata Lamala Asur, but bottom up it's forbidden. And we're now going on to the next stop, but I'm going to just finish the topic. So we're now on Beis Lamed Gimel Lamed Aleph, where we continue V'chein Kidera, and so to a pot, V'chein Be'asa, and so also an egg, V'chein Purya, and so to a bed, V'chein Chavita, and so to barrels. And now Perish, the Rif is going to give his explanation of this. Kishu also Medura, when he makes a bonfire, also Medura Shel Eitz, when he makes this bonfire, he shouldn't first place the wood under it, and then put other pieces of wood on top of them. Kederach Binyan, because this seems like is the way of construction. Ella Ochezas Eitz Milamala, he should grab onto the wood above it, and Laniach Acher Tachtav, and he should place another one under it. She'ein Kederach Binyan, because this isn't the way of construction. V'chein Kedera, and we said also a pot, when he places it. So what should he do? He shouldn't first put the stones down initially, and then put upon them the pot. Because it's like somebody who's pitching a tent, who's constructing a tent. So that's not the way to do it. Rather, he should grab onto the pot in his hand, and he should enter in the stones underneath it. Rif Beitza, and so too eggs, because when he wants to roast them, he should grab onto the top one, and put another one under it, the other one under it. And so too in terms of a bed. The bed has basically legs and has boards which go on top of those legs. So he should, when he grabs the boards, and he should put the feet of the bed underneath them, instead of first putting the feet down and then putting the boards on top. And so too a barrel. When he wants to incline it on stones, first he should incline it, and afterwards he should insert those stones under it.